The interactive visual novel, Ken Follett's The Pillars of the Earth.
Ooh.
It's I don't even know how to like talk about it because it's not really it's a kind of an adventure game, but not really. It's more so a visual novel. But the interesting parts of it is it's an adaptation of a very beloved best-selling historical fiction novel by Ken Follett, who's apparently a very popular author I just
Okay.
hadn't heard of before this. But yeah, what's cool about it is it is just about one area. It's about a town creating, trying to like raise funds and create a cathedral to kind of protect the town, and for them to have funds coming into the town, into the city, and to kind of just protect the people there. It's like right after there's like a Gothic rebellion that happens, like a Gaelic rebellion that happened in the 12th century, and it's kind of like in the downfall of all this like hectic stuff. This city's like, hey, we need to like do something. And it takes place over 30 years, so it's like a long spanning kind of just epic. You play as three different characters. You play as a monk who runs the cathedral, you play as a stonemason, and you play as one of the other characters' kids. I don't want to say who it is, but yeah, it's just a really well written story. It's all hand drawn, all voice acted. There's differences supposedly in the story that you can make that doesn't happen in the books, because the books are like set stories, and this is like you can change what you get, like who gets what items go here, so you might change the trajectory of the story in some cases, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of a weird thing for a company to do. I don't know why they'd say, "Hey, like, let's like adapt a book into a game," but they did, and it's really good. Like, it's perfect for the Switch, which is what I was playing. The thing on it runs well. It's just great to like sit down, kind of just
Yeah, the
enjoy it as
this
a
yeah,
book
this game came out in like
forever ago.
2017 on like
Yeah.
PC or something. So yeah, it's funny that like yeah, Switch, of course, makes sense.
Also, it's also 90% off right now
Oh wow.
on Steam. So it's like $2 if you want to play it. Yeah, it's really good. I was excited to get a key for it because it's always been on my radar. I just never
Yeah.
bought it. Uh, but yeah, it's definitely in my wheelhouse more so recently because the games I've been enjoying have been intimate. Basically, is like where my brain's been for like types of like story games or just stories that I want right now. And this just kind of like slots into that. So I was very like, okay, this is cool, and it's also I
Yeah.
think is loosely based in history, like in actual church priory and all these things.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's I just want to know the story of like how it came to be. It's just so weird.
Interactive fiction, it's interactive fiction, interactive novelizations have come such a long way over the last several years, especially last like 5 years, really, since this game was
Mm.
released. So it's just really cool to see them, adapt these things, and it's I feel like it's a neat way to get these classic story because I'm going to talk about a game that I've been playing very similar, same developer producer. That a neat way to kind of tell these stories to whole new generations and make them interactive. So yeah.
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 And it's funny
Well,
because it's not like they've done anything else. Like this is like Ken Follett related. This is just like let's just adapt this one particular Ken
Yeah.
Follett series for video
yeah, like
games.
let's do this. Let's do it's a series, but the game covers the first book. So you
Yeah.
basically and it I'm pretty sure they changed the way the story is told in the game so they can do it in three parts. Like each part is from a different character's POV. So there's like book one in the book is from one character, in the game is one character, book two, book three.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I just want to know like how did this happen? Did Kid and Follett like hit them up like, hey, you guys want to make a game? Was it's also Daedalic. They don't really make many good games per se. Like I was looking at their track record. I was like, what have they made? I'm like, oh, there's just a bunch of just like meh games or just games that people don't really talk about. But
It's
then
like
there's
they do
this.
like the Deponia or whatever, that franchise.
Yeah, and they do the Gollum game that's coming out.
Oh,
So it's like,
Which we can see at PAX East.
so it's like, okay, so how did this happen? Like, how did this like pretty interesting piece of like kind of art, like, because like there's a lot of like passion that went into making those cutscenes. Like you can tell that somebody knocked it out of the park with those hand drawn scenes, everything, the voice acting. Ken Follett's a character in it, like he voices a character in it. It's like some amount of love went into it. So
the whole reason this studio exists was for this moment.
it feels like it. It feels like
Yeah.
is some guy's like dream. He's like, I've been dreaming about making this game for a decade or whatever.
Biggest Ken Follett nut out there.
Yeah.